The video that you'll see on the website has one line that sticks out to me. Jesus paid too high a price for us to pick and choose who should come. And we are all the body of Christ. Now, it's easy for people to make judgments without having all the facts. I mean, we're busy, right? Jobs, family. We look at people and make snap assessments of who they are. Or we listen to rumors and decide how we feel without getting all the facts. Or we judge people on their past rather than where they are now and where they're going. And our snap judgments keep us from seeing the truth. Take the woman from the story, for example. Who was this woman? Some poor, dirty, toothless, homeless hag. Are you sure? Look at how people view Jesus. Everything from a really nice guy to a prophet, to someone who was ahead of his time in his thinking, to the devil incarnate. Few people at the time realized that he was the Son of the living God, that he was God made flesh. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 24, verse 13 through 17, it says, "Now that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles outside of Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. And as they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked beside them. But they were kept from recognizing him. Jesus didn't let them see who he was. So when we run into that dirty person on the street, can we really be sure we're not running into an angel or Christ himself? Now, we're all the body of Christ. We all have an essential part within that to reach out, not just to those that we are comfortable reaching out to, but to everyone. We are called to love, show compassion, forgiveness, and mercy to everyone. It's easy to sit in our homes and say, oh, it's too bad about those homeless people. Or read about the women that used to be prostitutes and have turned their life around and think, good for them. But have that same woman move in next door. And we don't see a success story. We see a prostitute. She may be working full-time and going to church, but you know what she used to do, right? And the Lord knows we can't have shelter for the homeless or other group of homeless in our neighborhood. It'll run down our property values. And we just don't want those kind of people around our children. Yet, can we be sure that when we reject those people, that we aren't rejecting Christ? In fact, we are. Every time we pass judgment, every time we ignore someone, every time we think ill of someone, we do so to Christ. Our dictate from Christ is to strive to be like him. Who did Jesus hang up with? The rich? Powerful? The people who knew how to manipulate and intimidate others? Knew how to exploit others to get what they want? No. He hung out with the prostitutes, the tax collectors, the scam artists, and the bottom feeders. Why? Because they were the ones that needed to hear his message the most. Now, I used to be like those people. I used to think the worst of people. Kindness was fantasy. It was something that only people showed when they wanted something. Everybody had an angle. I still catch myself when I'm around kids. And they say, I love you. And I say, what do you want? But I'm gradually changing. I'll admit that, thanks to Christ and thanks to all of you. You'd be amazed at the response you get the next time you walk down the street and see a homeless person or someone less fortunate, and you just say, hi. Their eyes will light up like a kid on Christmas morning. Now, I'm not suggesting that we go out and hang out at strip clubs and on street corners. What I am suggesting is that we treat everyone we meet with kindness and compassion that Christ wants us to treat each other with. Thank the person behind the counter. They have a name tag for a reason. Use it. Yes, there will always be someone with more money, more power, a better job, better social status, more friends, more whatever. You know what Christ says to that? So what? Christ isn't comparing what we do to our neighbor. He's comparing what we do to what he wants from us. Okay, so you ask, how much is enough? How do I know how much to give? How much kindness? How much empathy? How much understanding? Christ has a very simple answer. He wants everything. Nothing held back. Nothing kept in reserve for just in case. I know for myself that when my heart feels a sense of relief, when I know I've given up myself what Christ wants me to give. And it's not a one-time deal. We don't get off the hook that easy. We don't get to say, okay, I said hi to the checkout clerk yesterday, I don't have to do it today. That's like God saying, no, I forgave you yesterday. You used up your quota for the week. And I'm not saying run out and sell everything you have either. When I'm saying give everything, I mean everything that's in here. Okay, I'm not cut out for this. I come to church on Sunday. Isn't that enough? I've got too much going on. I'm too busy to say hi and smile to every single person I run into. To forgive every person that's done wrong to me. I've got a job, I've got bills to pay, I've got kids, family, PTA meetings, church meetings, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, guys' night out, girls' night out. Now, again, I'm paraphrasing what God would say. And was that old woman in the story too busy to help that guy out? Was Christ too busy to save us? Sorry, I'd really like to save you from eternal damnation, but I got this party to go to, and maybe next week. Let me check my planner. Okay, so who's called? Short answer, we're all called. When you look at history, David was a strong kid. Mary Magdalene, a prostitute, who in some translations of the Bible said she had 7 demons inside her. Peter was a loud mouth and often ended up putting his foot in it. James and John were both self-centered and proud. Thomas, classic skeptic. In John 20, verses 26 through 29, says, a week later his disciples were in the house again, and Thomas was with them. Though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, peace be with you. Then he said to Thomas, put your finger here. See my hands? Reach out your hand and put it in my side. Stop doubting and believe. And Thomas said to him, my Lord, my God. And Jesus told them, because you have seen, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe. Moses had speech impediment. And it says in Exodus, and Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue. And yet, look what he did. Gideon, a terrified, scaredy cat, and a doubter as well, and he asked God for sign after sign, just to be sure that he was actually called. Paul was a prosecutor, or should we say executioner, of the early Christians before he was saved. And was not only good at his job, but he seemed to really enjoy it. So we are all called to strive to be like Christ, to give everything we have in our hearts, and yet even when we don't want to. Even to those who don't want to forgive. We don't want to forgive. Christ wants all of us down to our last $2, which is a small thing compared to the gift that he gave us. When he died on the cross, Christ gave his Father the ultimate sacrifice in our name. And we are called to do the same. You pray with me. Dear Father, let us all see that we are not only your children, but we are part of you. That we are part of the body of Christ. And let us strive to live up and be what you want